Welcome to On Track Show at Nature TV. This is another episode that is coming in a new style, and I want to really welcome you and appreciate you for watching the previous show that was basically talking about the East African community integration agenda. We are trying to see how the young people really benefit from having this kind of umbrella as East Africans. Does it help in young people? But today we are going to look at skill development. Skill development. I don't know which ideas you have on that particular show, on that particular discussion, but that's why you see I have very great and marvelous young people. Some of whom are leaders, some of them are students, but all for the generation. Once more, my name is Junior Victor Akansasira behind this show, and I want to welcome my dear brother who heads the professor, in fact PLO Foundation in Uganda, and my sister Caroline, who is really mobilizing young people and especially girls at MOOPS and for PAWO, Pan-African Women's Organization. But before I unpack, what do you really think about the skills development? Do you think the government is playing its role to ensure that the skyrocketing young generation is benefiting from such programs? Then if not, where is the problem? Then what should we do as young people to see that we can benefit from such programs? Before you is my brother. I think I'm going to give them a chance to introduce themselves. Then we move on. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, viewers. My dear listeners, I welcome you to the show, and I want to thank Comrade Victor for this opportunity. My name is Moses Odeke. I am the country director of PLO Foundation Uganda chapter. PLO Foundation is to be found in 38 countries and 10 in the diaspora. So in this context, I will be speaking as the country director of Uganda chapter, and I will be sharing my feelings. Thank you so much.
You're so much welcome, my brother. Yes, in the middle, I have a very strong lady, and I'm glad that you're here. And please, welcome. You're welcome to this show, and introduce yourself.
Thank you so much. Good evening to you all, dear viewers and listeners. First of all, I would like to thank the organizer of this show, Mr. Victor. This show is really so impactful only if you put in your best, give it time, and try to follow up what is always being discussed and what is always on the agenda on their table. Well, Caroline Atim is my name. I'm a student at MOOPS, pursuing Bachelor of Commerce in my second year. I work with Pan-African Women's Organization. It is not only about women, but everyone, both genders. We are here trying to promote gender equality, whereby gender equality, we are bringing in inclusivity of both boys, girls, men and women. Well, on our topic today, we shall be eager to listen on your views too as we give in ours. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, my sister Atim Caroline, for joining us on this show. It is a show for the young people. Nothing for us without us, and therefore that's why we are preparing these ideas so that you can as well advise us where we go wrong. That's why we call upon government to always bring in the issues to do with mentorship, national guidance, so that where the young people go wrong, the so-called Gen Zs, where they go wrong, then some mentors come and say, young people, look, this is the right direction. It is the reason why we have these discussions. Today, dear viewers, we are talking about bridging the skills gap as we prepare Ugandan young people for the modern workforce. Look at the statistics that UBOS was giving us. 50.7%, then 22.2% for the young people above the age of 17. Then the rest below the age of 17. But what are they doing so that we can have what we call sustainable development?
Thank you so much. I want to appreciate those who are taking time to listen to us. The World Bank statistics as per 2023 indicates that 60% of the youth do not have employability. The employers take the view that they do not have the necessary skills to be able to administer them jobs. So that should worry anyone, whether as the youth or the adults or the young children who are growing, or even the government. I look at this in the context of the agencies of Kenya. It was this reality that made people with nothing to lose to take such drastic issues to parliament. They undertook such decisions because the government had left them with no choice. According to Ministry of Gender, about 400,000 youth entered But you know, some of these jobs, like in government, you enter as a young person, and you can only move up to 60 years, which is mandatory. And when you look at the available jobs, our ever-growing youth population, that leaves some of the youth to be on the streets. And as the saying was that an idle mind is the devil's work, you can not imagine what these youth are thinking about. They're the ones who are doing grabbing phones, the ones who are thinking of breaking into people's homes. Because if life has reduced you to just looking for what you need, it becomes very complex. You're going to begin thinking that whoever has something is responsible for your predicament. And yet that's not entirely true. I would want to trace this to a few factors. Number one, the outdated curriculum. Number two, that there is a very big gap between the academic and research institutions. Number three, that we have very few vocational institutes or institutions that can afford to give you the skills that are necessary to survive. All you can see is popularization of the formal education. Finish O-level, then A-level, after A-level you go to university. Now, that kind of person finishes with a utopian mindset that I have to look for. Whereas other civilizations like the Chinese, Singaporeans, the Taiwanese, they know that not every person must end up with a white-collar job. So they give these young people exposure at a young age so that they engage in sustainable endeavors. You could start your carpentry shop and move in that line. You could do a very skilled sculpture. Also in that line. You could say, I am engaging in agriculture. And you focus on supplying food to urban areas. But here is a scenario where even agricultural shows are showing deplorable people in deplorable status, very poor business. How do you attract the young people into agriculture? Yet we claim that agriculture is the backbone of the country. So I believe that bad reflection of how our society is worries us, considering the population of youth.
Do you think they are employable skills? And what are those skills that young people need to have for them to fit in the workforce? Exactly.
Well, thank you so much. Basing on this discussion, it was like 60% of the youth every year leave universities, go out there looking for jobs. When we are to talk about that, the youth themselves, at times you find it that it is their fault. When they are within campus, they are so much focused. All they know is come to lectures, attend lectures, go back to hostel, attend lectures, go back to hostel. But I think that is not the case. They are causing that to themselves. as you are at campus, you have to dwell into something else. You have to be open into the world to get opportunities. You look for opportunities. I don't think they will come to you. You have to go an extra mile so that you'll be able to get that opportunity. So, us talking about skills here, yes, the youths out there are unemployed because they lack certain skills. There are some crucial skills that are really necessary for them to be into a workplace. We can talk about the soft skills, which include maybe communication, how you communicate first of all matters. Those are some of the things I'm not going to talk to you within campus, because you've already made it upon yourself that I only want to know what is happening on campus. So you need to go an extra mile and get to know more of those skills which are needed in the organization. Your communication, your dress skills, how you approach someone in an office, those are some of the skills. That's why you find that you're going to apply for a job, and then there are some crucial things, and then you ask yourself, why have I missed out on this job? When you to go and ask an expert, maybe they will take you through your application and find that I was in fault. Why are you in fault? You didn't go an extra mile to look for opportunity. I know of organizations, platforms, forums which provide for free skills, as in free. You don't incur any pay. The only pay you incur is, of course, your transportation to that place. They will teach you everything. At the end of the day, they will give you a certificate which will make your CV even more.
I want us to see how we can employ digitalization in our discussion, because the world is moving very fast. Digital skills. Please go on, Mr. Odeke.
You must be following the media, and one time, several occasions, Professor Dr. Muganga Lawrence, the Vice Chancellor, when he speaks about reforming the education system, and he quotes that you cannot judge a fish by its ability to climb. What is he saying? That we prepare the young people for the modern job market. And he talks about artificial intelligence, he talks about the emerging trends, ICT, computing. So when people are talking about nanotechnology, how prepared is the education system to give us that young person as a graduate who knows the things? How prepared is the university student in terms of artificial intelligence? Today we can talk about computer-generated images. So if you do not know how to deal with that, then you will see advancement of fake news, misinformation, and disinformation. But if you have some digital skills, you could be able to do that. On the other hand, you could use these digital skills to make money. I've seen content creators. In Uganda, you call them influencers. Yes, these content creators, their only claim to fame is that they think of an idea, put it on content, and then these days, because of the very short attention lifespan of you, you find TikTok, Reels on Facebook and YouTube, as long as you can condense that message about 30 seconds, then you have followership, another social media, Telegram, Snapchat. So these other social media, you find people creating their content, and you make money as a young person. So if you have these digital skills, no organization wants to employ you when you're computer illiterate, and then they waste time and other resources to take you through. So these are some of the soft skills that individuals and the young people should see a way of getting them alongside relationships.
Now,
wait, adding on this point of digital literacy. Some of the youth think having a phone is basically to take videos and around, but they are forgetting that through this phone they are able to even get opportunities. Well, there are some apps people are, I guess, don't know about. I don't know what people be doing on Twitter, but that's where I get my opportunities from. Maybe that depends on the kind of networks you follow. You find somebody is following Arsenal and you United. How are they going to help you at this moment? you need to follow at least something which will add value to you. You follow maybe organizations like Nature Africa Youth Network, where they put opportunities there, free training. Follow people like the US Embassy. Because I do follow them because I always get every opportunity there and apply, and of course, just given I've always called them.
Yes, dear viewers of Nature TV on Trump Show, we are basically trying to unfold the untapped available opportunities when it comes to skills development. There is a reason why you really see these great people here discussing some of these issues that we don't take serious. What is your view on some of these skills that are not really grabbed by these young people? Where could be the problem? Do you think it is the government? Do you think it is these leaders? Or it is us, the young people? Where is the problem?
It is a combination of those factors. There is no shortage of leaders, especially when you go down to the local district level, of chief administrative officers, conniving with community development officers. When government rolls out a program of about 5 million per group, there will be a condition by those leaders that we can only give you 50%. 50% can be shared. Now, when there is such a culture, then you find that these resources are mismanaged and the projects ultimately are mismanaged by the leaders. Also, I've seen that when it comes to what we call needs assessment, when you decide to impose on the ghetto youth a project that is not aligned to these realities, then it will not have a good reception. I believe that for you to go to the ghetto youth, you need to understand what is it that ghetto youth needs. What is it that in his understanding or in the realities of that community, things that need to be done. Otherwise, 90% of the projects have failed because of failure to recognize
The needs of that
peculiar to that particular community.
Exactly.
Number 3, we the youth have a portion we must carry of blame, about 60 to 70% blame. You have seen.
So you're trying to say the whole our leaders are right to blame the young people for being unserious and for being not cautious to these programs.
I will take you back to our time in Tanzania. You must have heard how the young people were agitated, but these old people are taking too long in those positions, and yet they live. Much as I agree with them, that a young person...
It is not that they are taking too long. The question was, much as they have taken long, they have not groomed and mentored the young people to be like them.
That is partly true. You have seen the old who are stuck. Their inability to nurture is attributed to their selfish nature. They believe that if I nurture Victor, then Victor will keep me off. And yet they have no retirement plan. They have gotten accustomed to someone opening a door for them. So they cannot imagine for 1 minute life outside there when no one opens the door for them. They cannot imagine a life outside there when no fuel card is given to them by government. They cannot imagine life outside there where they have to queue in a bank, to queue in a market to buy things. They can't imagine life where they have to drive in jam. So this kind of realities come back to bite us. Also, on the other hand, if you entrusted common youth right now, without those skills, without being nurtured or mentored, you can be rest assured that this kind of contemporary youth will mismanage society. So that's why I say it is a combination of all these factors. You find youth whose only claim to fame is that they know how to scroll through things. They do not learn anything. They do not think outside of the box. Someone reminded me that you can also think without the box. Because the box kind of restricts your thinking to a particular scope. But if you remove the box, you cannot think with a multiplicity of options. So if you took that view, which I believe that if you're a young person, you are looking at how you position yourself, then you should reduce this wastage of time. Because when you're youth, that is when you have time, that's when you have the exuberance of energy, which as you grow older, you realize that you should have used your time again.
Yes, thank you so much, Odeke, for that beautiful overview. But my sister Caroline, what are these ladies doing out there? Do you think they are really emancipated? Are they brought on table to really ideate, to really innovate, to really create and have these skills? Because to my understanding, I really think ladies are contributing a lot towards the country's GDP when it comes to about the agriculture sector, the ICT sector, speaking about different sectors. But what about that young lady out there in Bududa, that young lady in Alepton, that young lady in Karamoja? How can we ensure that these services, these skills reach out to them?
Well, thank you so much. The youth are unemployed, yes. The women are the ones leading us by now, mostly. They are having this problem. So us talking about those people deep down there is a lot to be done there. Where I come from Lamo district, border of Uganda and Sudan.
Lamo.
Yes, like it's just a walkable distance. Let me tell you, up to now, when a campus is there, it is still shocking news. Like, it is so shocking to people that there is something called a car. Why is that happening? There is limited access. I don't know how I should bring it up, but
they are still in the box.
They are still in the box. The box has not yet even been opened yet. It is still sealed.
Where is the problem?
So, the problem is our own people. Personally, I am going to say it's our own people. They are failing to expose the youth.
The leaders, let's say, the leaders are not exposing
the youth
to the rest of the world.
Exactly. First of all, let's talk about the transport, the road networks. You're going to find that there is a villager of my age deep down there who knows how to farm, can dig, has poultry, has the animals, has reared them, but a way of bringing them this side to the market is going to be, first of all, a challenge. So, at the end of the day, who is to blame? She's unable to bring out the goods this side and access some of the stuff she needs. Maybe like if she's planning on to maybe acquire a certain skill through selling those items, it has already limited her. She's not going to acquire that because there is no way out. Otherwise, I would say even the organizations are concentrated more in the urban areas. They have really neglected the people out there. So for the people out there, I'm not going to blame much on them because they are trying their best to ensure that they also sustain themselves.
But do you think there is also attitudes, there's also negative social and cultural norms that really happen? Are those people in some areas to acquire and access some skills?
Yes, let's talk about some cultures, yes. So a mindset is there. Let me talk about my very own. As a girl, when you reach the age of 15, you're supposed to be a housewife. That has already limited you to your dreams of being a housewife. So most of them grow up with that mindset that when I reach this age, education first of all has been neglected. There is no advocacy for education there. No one is talking about it. Everyone is so quiet about it. So you find that they are really living their own life, though it's already mindset is there. So when you reach 15, you're already going for marriage. All you know is wake up, go in the garden, dig. At the end of the year, you produce.
Mr. Odeke, I'm getting the point now that there are some communities out there where education is still a problem. Even when we advocate for the project-based learning, for this new curriculum, where we are going off the other curriculum that forces us to, to seek for white collar jobs. But even when there is the new curriculum, there are places which cannot access better education. We're talking about quality education. We're talking about the education that really gives, that is able to education for sustainable development. What is your view?
As a Pan-Africanist, I must approach this by giving you a historical context. 1997, Uganda would roll out what we call Universal Primary Education, UPE.
Yes.
The first graduates of UPE sat PLO in 2003. Now, 2003 onwards, we would have primary schools churning out students, or rather P7 leavers, or P7 graduates, who are in them out. At that point, government was stuck with a large number of students who are supposed to join senior. And because there was a free education, there was no free education for secondary. So you and I know a concept called the law of separation. In an attempt to solve this particular problem, you end up inadvertently creating another problem. So you must remember that should not be lost on you. Number two, it should also not be lost on you that the kind of education that we inherited from the colonizers is not the kind of education that was meant to help us. That kind of education was supposed to model personal traits of colonialists, to serve the colonial. So our attempts at reviewing the curriculum and rolling out this have been overtaken by events. We should also remember that the private education has what we call the cream for the cream. The best teachers are attracted due to low pay by the government. The other reality you should know is that if you graduate from a rural area and there is admission to this university, they ask how many have you got. So the cut-off points are huge. The people in those local schools cannot compete currently with education. And I think the free education is a free indeed. It is a free of knowledge. Because no minister, no big person in government takes their children to these schools. Because they know virtually there is nothing underfunded, poorly paid teachers, so there is no motivation. So even with that, when you struggle through, on the way you hit the start, the villagers will say, we never sold any animals, we never sold any land to take someone. So we are back to square one, we are all the same. So there is basically no reason why I waste my time and resources taking my child to school, and even when they finish university, they are unemployable, they are back to riding a boda with these local people. So you realize that we have a complexity of issues.
Yeah, there are so many complex issues that if we really decide to discuss all of them here, we shall finish the whole day. But I'm very certain that there are always solutions. And just to have a few cutting shots, maybe as we conclude the discussion, I would love to know from my sister, what do you think is supposed to be done to have a sustainable generation that really is really equipped with such skills, employable skills? If they're not these employable skills for those who have gone to school, then what about those that have not gone to school? What are these skills or vocational skills that they should have? Yes.
Thank you so much. For every problem, there is a solution. There is always a way out. You can never bring this out. So, yes, we are having problems, yes, but of course, we are going to give you the skills, the solutions to those problems. It is upon you out there to watch out for them and do something for yourself. Well, basically, let me begin with the people in the rural areas. What skills skills, what skills can they acquire? Yes, they don't have the paper, but there is also that skill they can acquire without the paper. These vocational training. There are trainings like carpentry, bakery, those are free trainings. Tailoring, the one sewing clothes. You can take up those opportunities there. I don't know if does the government really improvise for that, because I know, first of all, even acquiring those trainings will need a cost at some level. So the youth out there may be saying, I don't know, do they improvise for that, or they have to come all the way to Nakawa, which has most of the training institutes?
Yeah, I think there's so many training educational institutions, but most of them there is a price, there is a cost that one has to incur. However, if there is some donation from out, that's when they make some of these skills free of charge. And like at Natch African Youth Network, we are providing such skills, and most of them are free. But of course, at times, if there is no one who has really brought some materials, it becomes a bit expensive. So I think there's a lot to do to have at least everyone get these skills. And Odeke, are there success stories when it comes to government? Are there success stories when it comes to the area of skill development?
Yeah, definitely. It could not be a number one would be broken, but there will be success stories.
Yes.
I believe that if I come to the success stories, the other things that we ought to do and probably are doing, government is rolling out under the President's office this youth skilling initiative, which I believe should be able to bridge the gap. Number two, we should look at education reforms. And when you look at the new curriculum, I think it is good on paper, but we need more to make it pragmatic. Okay? We need, first of all, government involvement to champion this, and then government should have trained cadets to ensure that they roll out this. The other thing is that we should have vocational training institutes. The current number does not support. So I believe if we increased the vocational training institutes, we could be able to address some of these challenges. And then the gap between industry and academia should be bridged. So once you bridge this gap, you're able to identify contemporary problems and provide solutions. Academia or university should be able to do research and roll out this research for policies. So in other words, we should have a multi-sectoral approach. The other thing that I would want to focus to let really the young people focus on, where government is inadequate or unable to do so, please take an initiative. Learn skills, soft skills are very necessary. Learn social media. Now you live in a generation where internet is more or less a right. So almost everyone can access internet. Use internet. Teach yourself. Okay? So some of the success stories could be traced to the youth skilling, that you have a few individuals in the community who are able to do this, and that ultimately you could even have exchange programs. Okay? Someone picked from the district one exchange program. And then these people must be able to come back home and do not sit on to also see how they be able to speak.
Thank you so much, Odeke. Maybe if my sister has the last cutting shot, so that the young ladies out there can say, wow, our lady has represented us very well. It's just in a second.
I'm going to represent you, the ladies. This is what I have to say. For a lady, you have to be, first of all, equipped with something. Watch out for all those opportunities. Use the device. The nearest device you have is your phone. I know you always have data on you. Data, I'm sure most of the youth being off data is really something hard. Yeah. So you having the device, having the data, you can really access a lot. Just like they say, through the phone you're able to earn money. There are those things you can do and then you earn money through your phone without you even going physically for it. Start making those videos. Not necessarily any video, but video with meaning. I assure you, someone one time will see a video of you talking something which is of noble importance, noble cause, and then it will be a center of attraction. It will earn you something afterwards. Basically, that's what I have to say as for now. Check out those opportunities.
Well, thank you so much, my sister and my brother Odeke. And thank you so much, viewers, for taking the time to listen and watch what we are really discussing on this show. And particularly, like my brother and my sister have told you, we just need to get organized to tap into those available opportunities. They will not be there to wait for you, but you are the one to get time and find where they are. Then the last word that I have to tell you is, the future is always for the organizer. Take your time, find any available opportunity in your community, grab it. Tomorrow, you're gonna have a success story. Me, Akansasira Junior Victor, I thank you so much.